to record. Okay, so we're gonna do a top to toe flow this evening. I want it to be like, I want you to feel like you might actually fall asleep at the end of class. And if you do, I've won. You're gonna question that at the beginning of class because we're gonna start with something a little bit more intense. Not movement wise, but just body wise. We're gonna start with a big shoulder opener. So I know that a couple of you have had shoulder stuff in the past. So as always, with all my classes, listen to your body. If it doesn't feel good, come out, make adjustments. But before we do anything, we're going to start in child's pose today. If you have got your cushions or bolsters, use them however you want to. I'm going to cradle mine. So I'm going to take my bolster between my legs and I'm going to flop on top of it. I might even elevate the top of my bolster with a block underneath, so I've got a little ramp, if you can see that. Just move my mic around. And then bring yourself down, get nice and snuggy. The other place that's really nice to put a cushion or a bolster is in between your calves and your bum, and it gives you a nice seat. And then from here, let your head rest to the side that feels comfortable for you. So if you sleep on your side, turn your head to the side it would go to when you go to bed. Your arms can rest forward or you can extend them back behind you. If you feel like you need a bit more height to feel supported, then add some more blocks underneath your pillows or bolsters. And then from here, let's begin with really gentle pranayama tonight. I'm just going to count your breath for you. So we're going to inhale for 6 and then we'll exhale for 6. Really simple. Notice your pauses at the end of the inhale and the exhale. Let's start with a cleanse. Breathing in through the nose. Exhale fully. And let's start breathing in for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Continue like this. In for 6, out for 6. Allow your body to get even heavier on your next exhale, sinking into your prop like sand. Every exhale, you're letting go of your week so far. You're letting go of tension that you're holding in your body. Let's take another few breaths here. Okay, gently push yourself up. Take a little seat on your heels. Roll your props off to the sides, keeping them nearby in case we use them. So we're going to start with our big shoulder opener, and it's going to be on our belly. So if you've had a big dinner recently and feel uncomfortable, feel free to come out at any point. So come to lie down all the way down on your belly, and then extend your left arm out in front of you, but come onto tented fingertips. So I'll move back so you can see. So your fingers are like spiders here. So left arm's extended, and then from here, sweep your right arm underneath your left shoulder as far as it can go. So left armpit even. So right arm is reaching out towards the left-hand side. And then from here, you can stay like this, rolling a little bit of weight onto your right shoulder, but trying to keep your pelvis flat towards the ground. Now your left hand can stay extended, or if you want to, you can reach your left hand across to the right side of the rim. So we did this in Vinyasa on Monday, if you were there for that. Now, use your props here to support you if you want. If you need something underneath your head, grab your bolster or your block, place your head there. If you're okay to let the chin rest into your upper arm, you can do that. The temptation here to grind your teeth or to lock the jaw is very high. Try to avoid that. Maybe even just bringing your tongue to the roof of your mouth so that you've got a bit of space between the teeth. If your shoulders are feeling open and you've got quite long arms, you might be able to bend to the elbows and reach your fingers behind your neck to make a little bind. But if that just feels too much, you don't need to go there. Okay, let's unravel slowly. And you can either rest hands under your forehead or hands back by the side of your body with your head turned onto one side. If you've got your hands extending back towards the sides of the body, maybe take a little bend in your elbows and make sure your palms are facing up to the sky so that you can drape your shoulders down towards the ground and you can create space across the breadth of your back. Okay, from here, let's take the same shape on the second side whilst we're still warm. So press yourself up, maybe onto the elbows. Extend your right arm out in front of you. So right hand is like a spider, and then thread your left hand underneath the right armpit, and you can either soften the right hand to the floor here and rest here, or you can walk the right arm over to the left hand side and allow your chin to rest on the top of the right arm, or block. Whatever feels good. Again, maybe taking the tongue to the top of the mouth so you've got a little cushion between your teeth. And if you want to take that bind, you can try it again on this side, bending into the elbows, taking your fingertips behind your neck. Send your breath to the back of the shoulders here. Think of your inhale pushing down through the elbows and then shooting up to the back body, opening up the back of the shoulders, scratching that itch that you can never quite reach. Okay, unravel. Same again, take it slowly. If you'd rather come to child's pose instead of a prone Shavasana, that's fine. Whatever feels good in your body. Just make sure you've got that space across the upper spine, that big expanse from shoulder to shoulder. Good job. Okay, from here, press yourself up. Take a little seat on your heels and allow your shoulders to hang heavy down by the sides of your body. Let your hands be little anchors at the end of the arms. And we're going to take advantage of all this space we've just created in the shoulders to do a slightly different version of fish pose than the one we usually do. The one we usually do, because we do it every class now. So grab your block, or if you'd rather, you can use a rolled up blanket or a pillow. If you've got a bolster or a pillow handy, keep that for the top of your head, because this is going to be quite a big shape. So if you've got one of those really thin blocks, one of those ones that's half the width of this, that might be better, but I'm going to use this one. And this block is going to rest in between my shoulder blades. This one's massive, so I might change it so it's on its higher setting. It just depends how you're feeling. Anyway, I'll show you how to come into it. So we're going to lie down on the block. So usually we have it underneath the shoulder blades, but we're going to have it in between the shoulder blades today, which is a little bit more gnarly, I would say. I'm going to use my other block instead of a cushion at the top of my head, and I'm going to come to lie down. It's quite hard to get into this. And try and get to a position where the back of my thoracic spine is supported by the block, so the block isn't going any lower than my rib cage. And then from here, actually I'm not going to use a block under my head. I'm going to let my head come to the floor. Now if that feels weird, if your block is really wide and your shoulder blades are finding it hard to reach out to the outsides of it, try going a little bit higher. So take the block into its higher setting and then lower yourself down onto that. If you are doing that, I would suggest having something for your head, because that's very dramatic. And the other thing about doing that with the short or the thinner edge on your spine is that it's very obvious when you are wonky. Don't sit with a wonky block. Try and align it perfectly down the middle of your spine. Take your time. I want to see you all wiggling about trying to find the sweet spot. Yes, good. Okay, now you all love this shape, I can see, because you've all extended your legs. If you want to keep the legs bent, you can do that, but if it feels good with long legs, that's fine. Good, okay. So embrace the slight discomfort for now, because it's going to feel really good once your body settles. Try and slide the shoulder blades together so that they're caressing the sides of the block. And as you do so, feel the expanse of your chest open up even more. Your shoulders are becoming heavy, they're draping down towards the ground. Your hands have got a bit of space from your body, palms are facing upwards. Beautiful, that's so lovely everyone, nice Joy. Good Magda, excellent. Try and avoid the temptation to curl inwards in the chest, so don't let the shoulders draw towards the ceiling, let them be heavy. Your props have you, you're safe. Good, nice, let's rest here for a while. If you're feeling really comfortable here, you can take your feet into Supta Baddha Konasana. So that's where your feet come to touch and your knees come out wide. Just be aware that your hips are going to be really heavy here because you've got such a lift in your belly, and as a result you're going to feel more of a pull on your inner hip and your groin. So if that's a sensation you're okay with, then you can go for it. But if that's feeling too much, if you've got injury in the pelvis at all, I would take a different leg variation. Okay, from here, if your legs are extended or if your feet are touching, bring your feet to the floor and bend your knees. And then we're going to roll over to one side. Be careful if you're up high, and draw your knees in close to your chest in the fetal position, hugging yourself. And as you breathe, you might feel some coolness in that space that the block was occupying. Allow your breath to deepen. Let the blood come back into the space that was elevated by the block. And from here, press your free hand down to the ground and bring yourself up towards the seat, taking your time. Extend your legs out in front of you with a bit of space between the feet. And before we fold forward, let's take a wee twist. So right hand to your left knee, a gentle twist round towards the left hand side. Lifting up through the spine, softening your shoulders. And take the same twist over to the right hand side, left hand to right knee. Come back round through center. From here, take your right foot to the inside of your left thigh. If that feels comfortable, stay there. If you'd like to explore something a little deeper, take your right foot on top of your left thigh. Maybe even snuggling the right foot right into the left hip crease. So you've got a little half lotus pose, where you can stay like that. If you find that you're knee is really high, but you like the sensation of it being elevated, just grab some props and chuck them underneath. So again, the foot can be on the inside or on top of the leg. And then from here, walk your sit bones backwards slightly, lift yourself nice and tall. If you need to bend the left knee, do so, and start to drape yourself over the left leg. If you have got your right foot on your left leg right now, you're going to be pressing your femur down deep into the left hip socket. And as you do that, you're going to create quite a big line of tension down the back of the left leg, because it's going to consequently lock out your left knee. If you're comfortable with that, stick there. If it doesn't feel good, remove your right foot from the left leg, take a little bend in the left knee, and then bow forward. In vinyasa, generally I don't encourage locking out your limbs because we're weight bearing, but in this case we're not really weight bearing on the left knee, so it's okay to lock it out if that feels comfortable. But if it feels funny, if you've ever had any kind of bursa stuff in your knee, then remove your right foot from the leg. We're not going to be here for too long. I've got about 5 breaths left. Press yourself back up. Swap your legs over straight away, so no rebound pose. Right leg extends, left foot to the inside of the right thigh, or maybe on top of the right thigh. Remember to use props if you want. And remember, one hip is always going to be tighter than the other. Shimmy your butt bones backwards, and then from here, drape the torso over the right leg, so not the space between. A slight twist to the right hand side. And just judge it. How does your knee feel if you're keeping the left foot on top? If it doesn't feel good, release the left foot. Similarly, how does the back of the leg feel? Make adjustments. Okay, start to bring yourself back up. Extend both the legs now. And I'm going to give you a choice here over what forward fold you do. So if you love hip openers, if that's your favorite thing, take your legs wide. If you hate them, take your feet together, or maybe with a bit of space between your feet, whatever feels better. Remember, when we come into a forward fold, to give our hamstrings space, elevating the seat is always a good idea. So if you want to sit on a block or cushion, do that. I'm going to have my bolster in front of me for this. And I'm going to stand it up like this. You can do this if your feet are together as well. You can take the bolster between the feet. And I'm going to use this as a little head prop for me. You can take it closer if you want to. Oh, maybe don't put your head on the zip. That's not comfortable. There we go. And then from here, just allow your head to be as heavy as possible. Let your hands have nothing to do here. Often in a forward fold, our hands are kind of reaching or grabbing towards the ground. They've got no business in this forward fold. They can go wherever you want, on the ground, on your thighs. And Magda, I realize you're not working with a bolster, but what you could do is you could take your hands to the side of your bed instead, if that feels good. And you could rest your hands on the side of the bed if you're able to sneak your feet underneath. That might feel quite nice, but just do what feels good for you. I've taught this shape before with chairs, which is quite nice. If you start to feel a bit of compression in your spine or belly, it probably means you can come a bit further forward. So maybe create more of a diagonal with your prop. Maybe bring your prop to the ground and rest your elbows on it. While the general kind of blueprint of the shape is going to stay the same, you can move, you can chop and change what your body's doing throughout the next few minutes. Make it work for you. Close your eyes if they're not already closed. See if you can locate a pulse point just by feeling it through the body rather than finding it with the finger. 5 more breaths. As you reach the end of your last exhale, start to push yourself back up and come to lie all the way down on the ground. You can keep your prop there if it's not a nuisance. Lie down on your back, take your feet as wide as your mat and knock your knees into the middle, letting your lower back soften into the ground. Letting the shoulder blades drift down your back. Take your hands either to your belly or to the side of the body. Okay, from here, take your knees away from one another. And if you have a bolster or a pillow, try and do this without lifting your head, a bit of foot yoga. Try and maneuver that bolster or pillow so that it is lengthways across your mat, and then place it underneath your knees. You might need to roll it around a little bit. And then from here, take your feet to touch, coming into Supta Baddha Konasana with a nice support from our bolster or our pillows for the knees. So feet are touching, knees are out nice and wide. And if you want a stronger shape, draw the bolster as close as you can to your bum. If you want a looser shape, do the opposite, push your bolster away from you. Okay. And then from here, we have 2 options. If this feels like a nice enough stretch for you, you can stay. If you'd like to come up a little higher, you can keep your bolster where it is, press into your feet. So press the feet to the floor, lift your hips and slide a little block underneath your lower back, underneath your bum. So we're in a bridge with bolster and feet together. If you take that variation and you're like, oh no, this is too much energy for me, just get rid of that block. And then from here, we're gonna mimic what our feet are doing with our arms. So reach the arms overhead, and then either just bring your hands loosely to touch, so maybe a couple of fingers are touching, or grab onto opposite elbows so you're framing your head.
If you're framing your head with your arms and you've got your hands grasping towards the elbows, release the grip. Let the back of your palms come to the back of your hands come to the ground so that you've got the shape there, but there's not necessarily much scaffolding. And maybe the shape starts to loosen a little bit. That's okay. Continue to breathe, allowing your breath reach down into your belly, feeling how your breath affects your hips and affects your knees and your feet.
Notice how each part of your body is gaining something from this pose. Can you find a part of you that feels nothing right now? And if you can, are you sure? If it feels nothing, is that because it's supported by the pose? Does it feel nothing because the opposite muscle is getting stretched and it's softened? In that case, it's soft. Start shifting into Shavasana now. If you're in a shape that feels really yummy for you and sustainable, you can stay. If you'd like to move into something a little softer, a little less dynamic, maybe removing a block, now's your chance to do that. Make sure you're cozy tonight. It's really cold outside. If there's any lights that are bothering you, turn them off or place something over your eyes. Okay. When you're ready, close your eyes. Relax your jaw. Allow your breath to come naturally, nice and smooth like water. Your mind is busy. Busy thoughts and thoughts. Open that up as a nice gift for yourself later on, but for now, just think about your breath. Listen to the sounds around you, your heartbeat. Be still, just with you and yourself. Feel free to stay where you are. If you'd like to wake up, start to breathe a bit of movement back into the body. Maybe giving yourself a wee cuddle. Let's stay on our backs tonight. If you're sleeping, keep sleeping. Take one hand to your belly and one hand to your heart. Enjoy the rise and the fall of your breath. And we'll finish the class with one deep breath together, breathing in through your nose. Exhale fully. Thank you so much, everyone. Good job as always. Have a really lovely evening. And I will see you next week, not here on Friday, on Sunday. Lots of love.